Hey, I'm coming to you today from my home. Okay, no creek, no farm office. It's rained, and thank the good Lord for that. And things have kind of come to a slower pace in life over the last few days. But the reason that I wanted to record this here is to give props to the person or the people who TP'd my yard. They were very stealthy last night. I heard nothing. There was good coverage over the trees, good form on the throws, over the hard to reach branches. I would give it more like a 7.5 out of 10. They were not professional TPers by any means. They even left the Dollar General bags to show me where they purchased the toilet paper, and I was going to do a Devo about revenge, but I already had something else in my brain. But I'll say to whoever you are, you have TP'd my house with a mile of Charmin, and now I will be compelled to use 2 miles of Charmin Ultra when I find out who you are. Anyway, end of the Devo thought for the day. Casting all your anxieties on him, for he cares for you. 1 Peter 5 and verse 7. This is a great verse in theory. Okay, just thinking about it, reading about it. A lot of us have comfort in this verse, we just have trouble practicing it. And it remains in the realm of theory to most of us. Some of us like to clench and hold on to what we should be casting and letting go. We hold on as white-knuckled as we can to burdens and to weights that we were never meant to carry. Instead of letting God take the weight off our shoulders, instead of doing what he says, and that is casting them on him. These last few weeks have been some of the most stressful and crazy of the year. It seems like these have been the most crazy times of my entire life. It was weed harvest, it was planting, it was spraying. It's like you pack 3 months of work into 3 weeks of time. The bags under my eyes seemed like the heart in the Grinch movie at the end, growing 3 times as large. It didn't rain for like weeks at a time. So it was nonstop, sun up to sundown, work, work, work. And you add on top of that getting lessons prepared for church and these video lessons and trying to get a glimpse of my family at night before getting up in the morning and leaving before they wake up. The stress and the pressure of these last few weeks has really taken a toll on me. Work has overwhelmed everything else. It is like everything became like water flowing into a glass tank, and you don't know when it's going to stop. And my prayer life suffered because of it. My devotional life, my spiritual perspective on things got lost in all the work that we had to get done. Relationships strained. My spiritual life seemed like it was throwing a rock into a mud hole trying to find it. And I know I'm not the only person struggling with the stresses of this life right now. There's so many people trying to make ends meet. They're in financial stress with all the coronavirus stuff. Maybe, unemployed. Maybe they got laid off. There's so many people with family stresses right now because they've been inside their house for the last 4 months, unable to get away from their family, and they're about to go crazy because they've never seen so much of them and had to be quarantined with them for this long, like a desert island scenario. Family vacations have been canceled, plans have been changed, relationships, finances, everything seems to be put through a COVID-19 blender lately. And there seems to be a lot more weight that we're carrying around, not physically, although some of us, have gained the COVID-19 pounds. I'm talking about mental weight and spiritual weight and anxiety, that kind of dark anxiety that creeps up in the back of your eyelids and the back of the landscape of your mind when you think about things that you're doing or memories, and you almost feel like you're inside a glass tank with water slowly filling up and you don't know what's going to happen next. And you look out over the happenings of the world and over the picture of your lives, and there's a bunch of anxiety. And all of us have had burdens to deal with over the last few months. Extra anxiety. You just look at the news for more than a minute and you wonder when the world's going to come to an end, or at least when there's a war breakout somewhere. And here's what I've needed to hear over the last few weeks. You can't lay your burdens down until you let them go. You can't lay your burdens down until you let them go. And I'm not talking about quitting your job because your job is a burden or you work too long of an hours. I'm talking about the position of your priorities, the focus of your heart, where we have chosen to place things in our lives. The work on the farm became a burden because of where I chose to place that priority. There's a constant on my mind of having to get this farm done, this farm planted, these being sprayed, when I had a choice of where my mind and where my focus could have been. I could have chosen to start the day off with God at the center, trusting in Him, talking to Him, listening to His word, looking at Him, giving the harvest, bringing the much needed rain. But I was taking more weight on myself and carrying more of a burden than I was supposed to carry. The weight of anxiety and the weight of sin are much the same. They both come from a burden we were never meant to carry, to be able to carry. I can't carry tomorrow's weight any more than I can carry the weight of my own sin. Tomorrow will happen tomorrow, not today. The salvation of today is not promised tomorrow, so we need to be in Christ today. There are burdens in your life right now that you were never meant to be able to carry. They are a weight that needs to be let go. There are no burdens in life that can be laid down until you let go of them first. So what is it that you're holding on to so tightly when God is telling you to stop and let it go? Cast your anxieties on Him, for He cares for you.